Hello, Andrzej.
Hello, Joel.
How are you?
I'm good, but I was worried a while
Why?
because I didn't have a job for a while, but I have one now.
Okay, that's good to hear. You look fresh. You look very good with your haircut.
Yeah, because I was in
The barber. The barber.
barber. Okay, barber.
Okay, looking good. It suits you. I think this hairstyle suits you.
Thanks.
So, how is your week been so far? I know that you said that you were worried. You were worried for some time, but besides that, how has your week been?
Oh, my week was some good, some bad.
Okay.
Because I felt not good
Mm-hmm.
in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I felt not good.
Okay.
So yesterday evening, I was
Okay. So you were worried. Worried?
yeah.
Okay.
I was worried. Yeah, but now it's good.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Stress is not good, Andrzej. Obviously, life is not easy. Life is not easy. We all have our challenges, our problems, but
Yeah.
it's always better to try and come up with solutions instead of stressing. Because when you stress,
Mhm.
it's not good for your health, and you are also wasting time that you could be using to find solutions. Yeah. So
Mhm.
don't stress. I know it's difficult, but yeah,
Yeah.
so is life. All right.
Mhm.
So, Andrzej, do you remember what we spoke about in our previous lesson?
Yeah.
Okay. What did we speak about?
We spoke about last time uh, uh,
Friendships.
about friendship. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Friendship.
Yes.
And I said that I will visit Radymno,
Mm-hmm.
and I I will visit Radymno in next week.
Next week. Okay.
Next week.
That's soon. Yeah, you said December's coming up, so yeah, that is next week. That is very soon. Are you excited to be going back to Radimno?
Uh, yeah, I think that yes.
Okay. What's on your agenda? What will you be doing in Radimno? Do you have any plans?
Yes, I will visit my grandma, my mother-in-law, and my parents.
Okay, very good. So it's mother-in-law, okay? Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, yeah.
Okay, very good. I hope you have a good time in Radimno. I'm sure they will be happy to see you again too.
Yeah.
All right. So Andrzej, in the previous lesson, I did record the lesson, but at the end of the recording, my recorder crashed. So I lost the recording. That's why you did not see it posted. Okay? I'm so sorry about that. All right. So what I will do now, let's go over the corrections from the previous lesson, okay?
Okay.
All right. So in the previous lesson, you made a grammatical error. You said, I have contact with someone person. What should you say?
I should say I have contact with someone or some people.
Great job, Andrzej. And then you said, I like to talk for phone.
I should say I like talking on the phone.
Very good. You said, this is often meet.
I should say we meet often.
Great. And then you said, I visit to Radimno in December.
I will visit Radimno in December.
Good. You said, I will be rest.
I will rest.
Okay. You said, my love to God. I think it was something along those lines.
I should say love for God.
Very good. And then another grammatical error, you said, she carry me when I been small children.
Okay, I should say she carried me when I was small child.
Very good. When I was a small child. All right. Great job. Now I will put today's lesson in the chat, okay? Give me a second. All right. Today's lesson is in the chat. Can you please read the topic and the lesson objective?
Yeah. African history and society.
All right. African history and society.
Society. Okay.
All right. So this is you asked for this topic, right? You asked for this topic, Andrzej. You asked, and okay. So this is the one I came up with. All right. Let's look at the objective.
I can discuss various aspects of African history, society, and culture, including its languages, fashion, education, and daily life.
All right. So do you understand the objective, Andrzej?
Yeah.
All right. So as usual, before we start the discussion, we have 5 new vocabulary that we need to look at. All right.
Yes. Cradle of humanity, the place where human beings first originated. Kingdom, a country ruled by a king or queen. Swahili, a widely spoken language in East Africa. Culture, the customs, beliefs, and the way of life of a group of people. Tradition, a long established custom or practice passed down through generations.
Great job. Okay. From these new vocabulary or these new words, is there anything that you don't quite understand that you need more explanation on?
I understand this vocabulary, but I
Look for.
Look for, okay. I look for in translator. What does it mean, cradle?
Cradle, okay. Cradle, as they say, they're the place where human beings first. So, cradle of humanity is the place where human beings first originated. But cradle itself means the origin, right? It's the origins. It's where something originally comes from. That is cradle. So when we say cradle of humanity, that means the original place where human beings come from, right? It is widely scientifically, or scientists, they think that they researched, indeed they researched, and they came up with answers that the cradle of humanity, so where all human beings, where humanity started, is in Africa. That is what scientists say, all right? And specifically in Africa, there are caves in South Africa in particular. There are caves in South Africa where scientists have found the skeletons or the bones of the very first human beings. Okay? There are some caves in South Africa where scientists found this evidence. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I think that no, because I understand other vocabularies.
All right. In that case, Andrzej, are you ready for the discussion?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the one you asked for. So my first question is, what do you know about Africa's history? Do you know anything about any part of history in Africa, or any history from Africa? It can be anything. What do you know about Africa in historic point of view?
I have to say that I don't know Africa history.
Okay.
So I have question to you about history of Africa.
Okay. So Africa as a whole, as a continent, or do you want specific historical facts about certain places in Africa or things like that? Because to be honest with you, also I don't know everything, right? But maybe if you want specific history, maybe I can try my best to tell you what I know. Okay. So what exactly do you want to know about Africa? Or before I ask you that, I just want to bring you back. You said I don't know Africa history, okay? You should say I don't know African history or I don't know Africa's history. Okay, please look at the chat. You said I don't know Africa history. What should you say?
I don't know African history.
Or
I don't know Africa's history.
All right, very good. So the history of Africa that I can tell you about is the one that I know. So what in particular do you want to know? Because as you know, I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, all right? But I grew up in South Africa from the age of 6 to my adulthood. So I might know some things of either country and other bits and pieces of wherever. So what exactly do you want to know?
Okay, what is life like in your country? Democratic Republic of Congo.
All right. So I was born in Congo and I lived there until the age of 6, like I said. Obviously, when you are at that age, you don't notice much, right? Everything is just fun. You don't really care. You don't notice much as long as you're playing with your friends and you have something to eat. Everything is fine. But in my adulthood, I understood more about the country, right? When I was living in South Africa, obviously, as an adult, you talk to your family from home, and you also see things on media and things like that. You start understanding more. So I knew how the country is when I was living in South Africa. But when I was 20 years old, I moved to Congo. I went to live there for 2.5 years, right? So with my knowledge that I already had, now actually living there, right? Now I understood the country more, right? So in a nutshell, all right? So Congo is classified as a poor country, right? But in terms of resources, it's one of the richest countries, if not the richest country in the world. But because of socio-economic factors, the country is at the state that it is right now. So living there as an adult, I realized that in that country, if you don't have money, right? Life is tough. Healthcare is difficult. To feed your family is difficult. Transport is difficult. Everything is difficult. If you don't have money, you will see the country as like a place where that you don't want to be, you don't want to live, you can't do anything, right? But if you have means, it's fine, right? I guess that's the case with any country in the world. Money makes the world go round, but that is highlighted more in poor countries. In poor countries, if you don't have resources and money, it's worse, right? But if you have resources, it's okay. Do you understand? So that's what I realized while living there in my adulthood. Yeah.
And I have to ask for you two questions for you. What are the local meals?
Okay, the local meals in Congolese dishes. I can tell you popular ones. Something that my mother cooks often is called pondu. Okay, I'll give it to you in the chat. That's one pondu. It's yes. It's do you know cassava leaves?
No.
Cassava leaves. These. Okay.
Cassava leaves.
Yeah, but what Congolese people do is they grind these leaves, right? Do you know what I mean by grind? Like, they grind it and then they boil it. After they boil it, and then they put all the vegetables and things and meat, and yeah, and then it becomes like a type of spinach, and then you can have this with rice. You can have this with a staple food in Congo and many parts of Africa. Do you know what I mean by staple? Staple.
No.
Okay, new word.
Staple.
Staple food. Let's say staple food.
Staple food.
These are common featured food. These are common featured foods. Okay. So a staple food, it means like things that are always food that is always there. Like example, for everybody, staple food is like bread, milk, right? We all need bread, milk, eggs. So those are the usual food, right? So in Congo, common staple food is like pap. You know pap?
No.
All right. How do I say this in English? Okay, it's made from corn. You know corn?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they take corn, right? They grind the corn, and then it becomes like a powdery type thing, substance. And then pop is when you take that grinded corn, right? And you boil it, and you like spin. You mix it. It becomes like a mushy thing. So here's a good example. You know mashed potatoes. Okay. You know when you take potatoes and you beat them down and you mash it, mashed potatoes, right? But it looks like that. The texture is like mashed potatoes, but it's from corn. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, and then people, so that's a staple, it's a standard food in many Congolese houses and all over Africa. People usually eat pap with meat, soups, etc., etc. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. So coming back to pondu, people eat it. You can eat it with rice. You can eat it with pap, like I said, one of the staple foods. Yeah. So that's one Congolese meal called pondu. Yeah, and then there are many more, right?
I think that I would like taste this meals.
If you want to taste it, I can't cook to save my life, right? But if you want to taste it, right? If you want to taste Congolese food, in Europe, there's a big Congolese community in places like France, Belgium, Germany, Holland, those kind of places. Maybe we go together on a weekend, and then I can take you to a Congolese restaurant. I don't know if in Warsaw or in Krakow they are. I haven't seen any, but in Belgium and France, those places, it's easy to find these restaurants. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, Congolese people love fish, grilled chicken, grilled things like that.
Okay.
And yeah, and lots of chili in the food. Can you stand chili?
Oh, chili.
Yeah.
Chili is good, but my wife don't. My wife doesn't eat chili because she have problems with belly.
Okay, so she has belly problems. All right, but you will enjoy chili. Yeah. So chili is like a feature in Congolese food. Whatever Congolese people are eating, there must be lots of chili. Yeah.
Chili, I like chili.
All right.
I have one question. What are the customs?
Okay, the customs in Congo. I'll tell you now. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, right, there are many different people, many different tribes, right? And all these tribes have different customs. They have different ways of doing things, but when it comes together, they're all Congolese people, right? There are over 200 languages. There are over 200 different languages in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
200?
Yes, over 200.
Oh, it's many languages.
Yes, but so the official language, the colonizers' language that the country uses for official things, for school, etc., etc., is French, which the Belgians came with. right, when they colonized the country, but the local indigenous languages, there were over 200. Now, the main local languages are Lingala, Swahili, Kikongo, and Chiluba. Okay, now Swahili is it's a language that is spoken mostly in the eastern part of the country, and throughout East Africa, right? Many countries speak Swahili in East Africa and the eastern part of the DRC, right? And then there's a language called Lingala, right? It's a language most people from all the different tribes in Congo, even if it's not their first language, somehow they know that language, including me, right? So my tribe, from my country, I'm from a tribe called the Kikongo people, right?
One second. What does it mean, tribe?
Okay, a tribe is a group of people.
Okay, I understand.
So, example, you know those people in Salesians, by the mountains, the Salesians, right? That's a tribe, right?
Okay.
Am I correct? The mountainous, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Gurale,
yes, there we go.
Gura.
Yes, exactly. Okay, they have their own. They speak Polish in a different way, right? They speak Polish with a dialect. They dress differently. They have their songs. That's a tribe, a group of people.
Okay, I understand.
All right. So my tribe from Congo is this one that I put in the chat, Kikongo, right? The Kikongo people, right? They're called Bakongo. Now, this tribe, they speak a language called Kikongo, right? From their region or our region. Do you understand? I can't speak this language, Kikongo, right? But when I was in Congo in my adulthood, my grandparents and great-grandparents taught me a few words. Now I know a bit, right? But I speak Lingala fluently, right? All right, so that's the story. And then there are many different tribes. They all have their own, they have their own way of dressing. They have their own favorite foods, right? They have their own music, types of music, and language, obviously, as we know. And yeah, there are many different tribes. I can't even skip count, and I'm a Congolese person.
This is very interesting. Everything what you say is very interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to know more about Africa.
Okay.
I would like maybe read about Africa, and this is very interesting information.
Yeah, for sure. Why do you think it's important to study African history?
Why?
Yes.
I think that this is important. Yes. This is important information, and I like know more about history, and this is different question.
Yeah, I think it's important to know about other cultures, other people, etc. It just enlightens you and it makes you more aware, socially aware, in my opinion. Do you understand?
So I can say that I like everything. Yeah, sorry. I like everyone, people or brakuje mi słów.
Nie rozumiem.
I like people of all nationalities.
Yeah, that's good. It shows that you have social awareness. Do you understand? Because you understand different people. At the end of the day, what you don't understand, right? What you don't understand. Everybody has this flaw. It's a human flaw. What you don't understand, you criticize, and you are afraid of, and you demonize. But if you understand something, you respect and humanize and all that. So it's very important for us to understand different people, different cultures, different things, and that makes the world a more a better place, in my opinion. Yeah.
I think that respect to all nations is very important.
For sure, I agree. All right, so Andrzej, just to bring you back, you said I like know more about history. Okay. All right, you're missing
I like
it too.
to know about history.
Please look at the last one. That was a mistake on my side. You said I like know more about history. What should you say? I like to.
I like to. Okay, I like to know more about history.
Okay, very good.
I like to know more about history. Okay.
All right. So, Andrzej, when I ask many Polish people if they've been to Africa, they say they've been to Egypt or Tunisia, right? And so North Africa, right? That is the Africa that they are used to. So places like Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, etc., etc. Have you been to Egypt before, for example?
No.
Okay. Well, since many Polish people like to visit Egypt, have you heard about ancient Egyptian the ancient Egyptians? What do you know about ancient Egypt?
I know. Jakby to powiedzieć?
The pharaohs?
Pyramids, pharaohs, and pyramids. only this information I have.
Have you heard of any other kingdoms in Africa? Maybe sub-Saharan Africa?
No.
Okay. Do you know what I mean by sub-Saharan Africa?
Sub-Saharan Africa. I think that this is North Africa.
All right. So in North Africa, you have the Maghreb region. So that's Algeria, Tunisia, right? And other parts of North Africa, Libya, etc. And then below that, there's a big desert in Africa called the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, big
right?
Desert. Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
So below this desert, sub means below. So below this desert is sub-Saharan Africa. So Africa below the Sahara. So do you know any kingdoms from sub-Saharan Africa? Have you heard of any kingdoms?
I must say you that I don't learn geography.
All right.
I don't. When I was in school, I don't like geography.
Okay.
And I don't learn geography.
Okay, Nova Słowo, sub-Saharan Africa. That is Africa beneath the sub-Saharan desert, okay? Now, I can tell you some kingdoms that existed in sub-Saharan Africa. Have you heard of the Ashanti Kingdom in Ghana?
Okay, Ghana.
Okay. In Ghana, they had or have the Ashanti Kingdom. Those people had lots of gold. They were very rich, wealthy.
Oh.
Okay. You know there's a lot of gold in Ghana, right?
Could you repeat?
Do you know there's a lot of gold in Ghana? Gold, złoty.
Gold, złoto. Yeah. I understand. I don't. I know. What does it mean, gold? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call Ghana the Gold Coast.
Okay. Once again.
That's why they call Ghana the Gold Coast.
Coast.
You know what coast is? Co to znaczy coast?
No.
New word, coast. Wybrzeże, I think.
Okay, wybrzeże. I understand.
Wybrzeże, okay. So Ghana is on the coast of Africa, right? And like I told you, there was a kingdom in Ghana called the Ashanti Kingdom, right? And those people were very wealthy because they had a lot of gold, right? And Ghana today is still called the Gold Coast. So Złote Wybrzeże, I don't know how to finish that word.
Złote Wybrzeże.
Yes. Did you know that?
I don't know.
All right. So that's one kingdom from Africa. All right. That was also very like rich or wealthy, right? The Ashanti. I'll write the name. Ashanti. Now, have you heard of the Zulu kingdom?
I heard about Zulu kingdom, but I don't remember about what is Zulu kingdom.
Okay. The Zulu kingdom was a big kingdom it still exists, a big kingdom in South Africa. Okay, the people are called the Zulu people, right? So just like in Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, there's different what do you call it, people, right? Different tribes. There's different tribes. In South Africa, there are different tribes as well, right? And one tribe in South Africa is called the Zulu tribe, right? And that's they have a big kingdom, right? They have a big kingdom. And have you heard of King Shaka Zulu?
Oh, no.
So King Shaka Zulu is like a famous king from Africa, from the Zulu kingdom in South Africa. He was a very skilled warrior, or like in military combat, right?
What does it mean, skilled?
Pochakai. Skilled is when you have lots of skills. Skilled. Jesus. Vykwalifikowany in combat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walce.
Yes. He was a very skilled king. So he was the king of the kingdom, but he was also a warrior, and he was very skilled. He was a good leader, commander. Those are some kingdoms in Africa, because when many people that are from maybe Europe that don't know a lot about Africa, when they talk about kingdoms, they only know the Egyptian kingdom, right? The ancient Egyptians, correct? So Andrzej, I know you've never been to Africa before, but what do you imagine life in Africa is like? In your mind, what do you think life in Africa is like? What kind of jobs do people have? What are people wearing? What do you think?
In my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that people are friendly. People love families, and I think that Africa is a very beautiful land.
For sure, I agree with you. In terms of beautiful, I agree. All right. So, how do you think African cities look like compared to European cities or cities in Poland? What do you think?
Okay, I try say Polish cities are dirty, and in Polish cities are many addiction people. Sorry, but I know about takie rzeczy, no.
About life?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said many addiction people. You should say many addicted people.
Many addicted people. Okay.
How do you think the infrastructure of Africa is like?
I think that infrastructure in Africa is maybe uh, maybe brakuje mi słowa, przepraszam.
Okay.
Słabsza.
Bad?
Weaker.
Yes, I agree with you. There's weaker infrastructure in many parts of Africa due to the social, economic, and political problems that many countries face. So in many parts, the infrastructure is lacking. But if you go to maybe countries like in North Africa, the infrastructure is good. In South Africa, the infrastructure is very good. I lived there for the majority of my life. The infrastructure is very good there. Cape Town, I lived in Cape Town, Kaapstad. If you go there, you will fall in love with the city. You won't want to come back to Poland. I assure you.
I think that people work na roli, nie wiem jak to powiedzieć. Rolnicy.
Co to znaczy?
Farmers. I think that many people are farmers.
Okay, so in your mind, many people are yeah, true. There's lots of farmers in Africa, especially in rural areas. Okay, do you know what I mean by rural areas?
I don't know.
Okay, new word, nowe słowo, rural. So these are the areas outside the city, because many parts in Africa are not so developed. So there are duże rural areas, right? Now in these rural areas, to survive, you have to farm. You know, so it's not like the whole Africa is rural and everybody's working on the farm. But in rural areas, people, I agree with you. It's true. People do farm and to support themselves and their family, and they feed off their farming as well. So they sell the crops to make money, and they also eat from the crops to survive. Yeah. All right.
What does it mean, crops?
Crops is the food you grow. So when you plant tomatoes, you plant. Okay, new word. Crops. The food you grow. Okay, but for the most part, in the cities, yeah, people have normal jobs. People are, if you have the opportunity, it's hard to get jobs in certain places in Africa. But if you have the opportunity, there are normal jobs, like you can be a doctor, you can be a teacher, you can be an accountant, you can be whatever, right? In your opinion, why do you think Africa has so many different cultures?
Dlaczego jest tyle różnych kultur, tak?
Ja, dlaczego duże kultury w Afryce? Duży język, dużo ludzi, duże wszystko.
Difficult question. I don't know. I can't ask you.
Okay, maybe because Africa is very big.
Yeah. Africa is very big, and Africa is bigger than Europe.
By far, very big. All right. What do you think about African education?
Kiedyś, one second. Once time, I read article about African education, and I think that education in Africa is very good because children learning
A lot.
a lot of skills.
Skills, okay?
Okay, in this article I read that children of Africa learn a lot skills.
Okay, in which particular country? The whole Africa or in a particular place?
This article part of Africa.
Okay. You don't remember the country, eh?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
How country.
Okay, I'll give you my opinion. In Africa, especially in parts of Africa where there's like, socio-economic problems, right? The people want to learn. The people are intelligent. The kids are intelligent, right? But most of the time, especially in poor places or poor countries or poor places, whatever, people don't. There's no infrastructure for good schools, right? There's no resources. Sometimes the school is not the school is like it's not good at all. The building is not good at all. There's too many children, right? I'll give you an example. My grandmother is a teacher in Congo, right?
Okay.
She's been teaching for over 30 years, right? When I was in Congo, I visited the school where she teaches, right? The infrastructure is very poor, right? There are too many children in one class, right?
Okay.
For one teacher to deal with. For one teacher has to deal with over 60 children. Can you believe it?
Oh.
Matko Bosco, eh? You are one teacher, you must deal with over 60 children. The infrastructure is not good. The resources to work with for you and the kids is not good. Sometimes most parents can't afford the school fees, right? In places where the socio-economic situation is not good, you can't afford the school fees, and also maybe sometimes you the child, you're going to school hungry, right?
Oh,
so
it's very,
yeah,
it's horrible.
but not everywhere, right? Not everywhere.
Okay, I understand.
What do you think about African sports and athletes?
I don't know.
Do you watch sports?
I don't have television.
Okay, did you know that sports like football and athletics, running is popular in Africa?
I know, yeah. I think that African sportsmen are very good.
Okay, in which types of sports in particular?
Particular, I don't know what does it mean particular.
Particular. If I say in particular, it means particular. Concretely. Okay.
Okay. Konkretnie.
So in particular,
Zwłaszcza.
Konkretnie particular sport. I think that African athletics are very good.
I agree with you, especially in long distance running. Did you know that? Did you know that East Africans are very good in long distance running? East Africans, Ethiopians, Kenyans, Eritreans, etc. They have genetics that allows them to have endurance and run very far.
Once time I watched athletics, but now I don't watch because I don't have TV in house. Yeah. And sometimes when I listen radio, I heard about Africans sportsmen.
Okay, all right. So I think we'll stop the discussion there, Andrzej. I just want to bring your attention to the chat quickly. One last one. You said once time I watched athletics. Okay, I watched athletics. It's coming now. One time I watched athletics once. One time I watched athletics. Okay, so you said once time I watched athletics. You should say one time I watched athletics, or
Okay.
I watched.
One time I watched athletics. I watched athletics once.
Yes,
Okay.
not once time.
Okay, I understand.
All right, Andrzej. It was a very interesting discussion. As you can see, we went over time.
But today I poor talk with you.
No, you were great. You asked very good questions. That's the only way you can learn. It's when you ask questions, firstly, and when you make mistakes. When you make mistakes, you should be happy, Andrzej. I'm learning Polish, right? I make millions of mistakes, right? But
Okay.
I love it when I make mistakes because that's when I learn, right? And that's the quickest way to learn. Right.
Okay.
All right. So good job. You asked. I liked your questions and I liked your thoughts. Your answers were very interesting. All right.
Okay.
So what do you think of this discussion? You asked for it. I delivered. What do you think of it?
This discussion was very interesting for me.
I think so too. All right. So let's look at the corrections and the new words. Okay. You said I don't know Africa history.
I don't know African history.
Or
I don't know Africa's history.
Okay, so I said African history because then African in this context becomes the adjective. African describes history, and if you say Africa's history, then it's the possession. All right.
Okay.
All right. So then you learned a new word. Sotoznache staple food.
Common featured food.
Featured food. Okay.
Featured food.
Can you give me some Polish staple food examples?
I think that pierogi.
Yeah. Okay. Pierogi. Okay.
Pierogi dumplings.
Yeah. It's a staple. All right. And then what else? You said I like know more about history.
I like to know about history.
Okay. Or I like to know more.
I like to know more about history.
Very good. Okay. I'll get the next one now. What's the next one? I like to know more. Sub-Saharan Africa. Sotoznache.
Sub-Saharan Africa is a place when is big desert.
No, the Sahara Desert is the desert, right? The Sahara Desert. So you get North Africa, you get Egypt, Algeria, you get Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria. Below those North African countries is the Sahara Desert, the biggest desert in Africa. Below the Sahara Desert is the rest of Africa. So Congo, Cameroon, Kenya, blah, 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 blah. So below this desert, we call that part of Africa, we call it Sub-Saharan Africa. Okay? Sub means below.
Below desert is Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes.
Okay?
Sub means below.
Okay, I understand now.
Nowe słowo. Sub means below.
Once again, because my parrots...
Okay, sub, new word, it's in the chat. Sub means below. I put it in the chat, you'll see it. Okay. What is coast?
Sub below.
Yes. What is coast?
Coast is in Polish wybrzeże.
Yes. Okay. And then you said many addiction people.
Many addicted people.
Okay, co to znaczy rural areas?
Obszary wiejskie in Polish.
All right. And what are crops?
Crops, then the food you grow.
The food you grow. Sorry, I made a mistake.
The food you grow, okay.
All right. You said once time I watched athletics.
Okay. One time I watched athletics, or I watched athletics once.
All right. So that's the end of the discussion, Andrzej. Well done.
Okay.
Great job. Do you have any questions before we go?
No. Joel, you can, if you can show this video more person.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right. Today I will not make a mistake. Last week when we had the lesson, my recorder let me down. I'm so sorry. But today I'm saving it immediately.
Okay. And I show this lesson in my friends.
All right. I like that. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
So great job. See you soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.